What do you think?
Wow.
You haven't even scratched the surface of that thing yet. I mean, they're just after the Revolutionary War, the Civil War. But that whole DVD is mind-blowing in terms of when you come to understand the depths of revisionist history and outright lies that we have been taught, that as a group of people, as part of the black community in the United States, where 96% vote now for Democrats. It's pretty amazing. That's almost like a lobotomy or something that has happened on a national scale. But there's much more to this video, and again, it's called, I think it's called, what is it? Setting the Record Straight, American Politics in Black and White. So, let's move on with the rest of it. I got some questions for you guys here tonight. Why do we press harder on a remote control when we know the batteries are getting weak? That's rhetorical, okay?
Why do you drive fast when your gas tank is empty?
Why do banks charge a fee due to insufficient funds when they already know you're broke? Why is it that when someone tells you that there are 1 billion stars in the universe, you believe them? But if they tell you there is wet paint, you have to touch it to check. Why do they use sterilized needles for lethal injections? Why does Superman stop bullets with his chest, but ducks when you throw a revolver at him? And last but not least, why did the kamikaze pilots wear helmets? All right. So, there you have it. Now, there's a man out there, his name is Lloyd Marcus. He's also a man of color and part of the Tea Party movement. And he wrote an article that I found really interesting called A Black Man, the Progressive's Perfect Trojan Horse. And he starts off by saying that no white man could ever write an article as this and live to tell about it. So I'm going to let Mr. Marcus say what he has to say. As millions of my fellow Americans, I am outraged, devastated, and extremely angry by the Democrats' unbelievable arrogance and disdain for we the people. Despite our screaming no from the rooftops, they forced Obamacare down our throats. Please forgive me for using the following crude saying, but it is very appropriate to describe what has happened. Don't urinate on me and tell me it's raining. Democrats say their mission is to give all Americans health care. The Democrats are lying. Signing Obamacare into law against our will in the Constitution is tyranny, and step one of their hideous goal of having as many Americans as possible dependent on government, thus controlling our lives and fulfilling Obama's promise to fundamentally transform America. I keep asking myself, how did our government move so far from the normal procedures of getting things done? Could a white president have so successfully pulled off shredding the Constitution to further his agenda? I think not. Ironically, proving America, and you know what, let me stop right there with what he just said. In a way, he's right, but George Bush got away with it, the Patriot Act. Remember that one? Okay, and there were some other things that Mr. Bush did that were contrary to the Constitution. Ironically, proving America is completely the opposite of the evil racist country they relentlessly accuse her of being. Progressives used America's goodness, guilt, and sense of fair play against her. In their quest to destroy America as we know it, progressives borrowed a brilliant scheme from Greek mythology. They offered America a modern-day Trojan horse, a beautifully crafted, golden, shiny new black man as a presidential candidate. Democrat Joe Biden lauded Obama as the first clean and articulate African-American candidate. Well, Jesse Jackson wasn't that articulate, but hey. Okay. Democrat Democrat Harry Reid said Obama only uses a black dialect when he wants. White America relished the opportunity to vote for a black man, naively believing that they would never suffer the pain of being called racist again. Black Americans viewed casting their vote for Obama as the ultimate affirmative action for America's sins of the past. Then there were the entitlement loser voters who said, I'm voting for the black dude who promises to take from those rich SOBs and give to me. Just as the deceived Trojans dragged a beautifully crafted Trojan horse into Troy as a symbol of their victory, deceived Americans embraced the progressive's young, handsome, articulate, and so-called moderate black presidential candidate as a symbol of their liberation from accusation of being a racist nation. Also, like the Trojan horse, Obama was filled with the enemy hiding inside. Sunday, March 21st, 2010, a secret door opened in Obama, the shiny golden black man. A raging army of Democrats charged out. Without mercy, they began their vicious, bloody slaughter of every value, freedom, and institution we Americans hold dear, launching the end of America as we know it. Wielding swords of oats reeking with a putrid odor of backdoor deals, the Democrats landed a severe death blow to American individual rights by passing Obamacare. The mainstream liberal media has been relentlessly badgering the Tea Party movement with accusations of racism. Because I am a black Tea Party patriot, I am bombarded with interviews asking me the same veiled question. Why are you siding with these white racists against America's first African-American president? Now, just the fact that, and I'm surprised about David Barton, the fact that he uses that term African-American, because does that mean that Obama is only president over the African Americans? I don't know. I thought he was the American president, but, you know, you guys have heard my spiel on that one. I defend my fellow patriots who are white, stating, these patriots do not give a hoot about Obama's skin color. They simply love their country and oppose his radical agenda. Obama's race is not an issue.
That's right.
Recently, I've come to believe that perhaps I am wrong about Obama's race not being an issue. In reality, Obama's presidency has everything to do with racism, but not from the Tea Party movement. Progressives and Obama have exploited his race from the rookie senator's virtually unchallenged presidential campaign to his unprecedented bullying of America into Obamacare. Obama's race trumped all normal media scrutiny of him as a presidential candidate, and most recently, even the Constitution of the United States. Obamacare forces all Americans to purchase health care, which is clearly unconstitutional. No white president could get away with boldly and arrogantly thwarting the will of the American people and ignoring laws. President Clinton tried universal health care. Remember that one? Bush tried Social Security reform. The American people said no to both presidents' proposals, and it was the end of it. So how can Obama get away with giving the American people the finger? The answer is, he's black. The mainstream liberal media continues to portray all who oppose Obama in any way as racist. Despite a list of failed policies, overreaches into the private sector, violations of the Constitution, and planned destructive legislation, too numerous to mention in this article, many Americans are still fearful of criticizing our first black president. Incredible. My fellow Americans, you must not continue to allow yourselves to be played and intimidated by Obama's race or the historical context of his presidency. If we are to save America, the greatest nation on the planet, Obama's progressive agenda must be stopped.
Right.
Now, Judy, I didn't lie, but you know, sometimes I have Alzheimer's or something, and I don't know what I'm saying, so I am going to talk a little bit about Egypt before I start the questions.
That's all right.
Okay, I forgot I had something
You
here
go.
concerning what's going on. And by the way, those of you, you have papers here. I would like you to write down, share a pen or something. His name is Perry, or is it Perry? Stansberry's research. Is it Perry? Preston? I'm not quite sure. Says, but Stansberry's research -- End of America. And this man predicted the fall of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, among other things, especially along with Peter Schiff, who is the author of Crash Proof. But this man has a presentation out there that's an hour and 16 minutes. And I'm telling you, in terms of understanding exactly what's going on with the dollar and how imminent the collapse is, and just for a 30-second summary, the reason that the United States has not collapsed yet in terms of the dollar is because we are still the world's reserve currency for now. But history, as the Bible says, is no new thing under the sun. Well, there was a great empire called Great Britain, England, and they were the reserve currency at one time, the British sterling pound. That failed after World War II. What ended up happening, you had the winter of discontent because England kept up their socialist policies. They ran out of money, ran out of other people's money. They declined in power, the lifestyle went down. They're basically being taken over by Islam right now. But we stepped up in 1944 at the Bretton Woods Conference, and the powers got together and agreed that the dollar would be the world currency, the world reserve currency. Well, even now, and I've been following this now, I think about 6-7 years, Iran had been leading the charge to have oil change from dollars to euros. Not too long ago, maybe a month or so ago, China and Russia agreed to stop trading in the dollar and trade in their own currencies. The IMF, with the special drawing rights, is putting together baskets of currencies that do not include the US dollar. So, when everybody stops accepting our dollars for trade, guess what? We're hit. So, you know, I mean, if you owe somebody money and they owe you money and they, keep giving you monopoly stuff, talking about, well, I'm gonna get you the real thing pretty soon. You holding all this monopoly money pretty soon. It's like, I want my money. But we see the unrest that's happening in the Middle East right now. 11 countries are experiencing this. This is amazing. Against dictators like Gaddafi. I'm quite sure Gaddafi, I mean, he's like 80-some years old. He must be like, what the heck is going on here? These people. But it's happening. And, it's amazing because even though Gaddafi is not an ally of the United States, actually pretty much none of them are in terms of the countries. The puppets we've set up do as we tell them to do for the right price. But the people are revolting. And it's going to open up a vacuum where radical Muslims are going to be able to enter into. That's not going to bode well for Israel. But we know that that's coming anyway. But the thing is this. Barack Obama and the U.S. government have called for a peaceful transition in Egypt. And isn't it amazing that poor Mr. Obama, he comes out against, Mubarak, again, and supporting the protesters. But these people in Iran that are out there protesting, won't stand up for them at all. I don't get it. I mean, maybe he knows something about Ahmadinejad that the rest of us don't, or maybe he wants the 12th Imam to come on scene. I don't know. But the U.S. government have called for a peaceful transition in Egypt. In response to massive protests, riots, and escalated